Okay, last one. Woo-hoo! Finally making it to the end. So graph the solution set for this system. We need to get both of them in slope-intercept form. So for the first one, 5y, and that's going to be less than negative x plus 3. So go through and divide everything by 5. So we have y is less than negative 1/5 x plus 3/5. That's a hot mess. Okay, and this one, move your 5x over. It'd be a negative 5x plus 5. Go through and divide through by negative 3. Ooh, that's the magic word. When you divide by negative, you got to flip. So it becomes greater than positive 5/3 x minus 5/3. Okay. Oh, love the fractions, don't y'all? Okay, so this thing says I start at 3/5. So that's like, if this is 1, it's like 60% of the way. So I'm right here. According to my slope, I go down a whole step. So if this is negative 1, I'm coming down right in here. And then I'm going to go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! Okay, so I was getting it. And that is a dotted line because it does not have the little line under it, and I kind of missed. My bad. Okay, now for that one, it says less than, so I need to shade under him. Okay, now for the other guy, I need to start at negative 5/3. Well, that's the same thing as negative 2 and 2/3. So I'm going to come down to, here's negative 1, here's negative 2, and a little bit more. So that's where I'm starting. And then it says I'm going up 5/3. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/3. 1, 2, 3. All right, again, dotted line. And we flipped it. It's now greater than. So we're going this way. Now what you're needing to do is, they're not going to show all that on your test. They're only going to show this part right here. You're going to need to check for dotted lines. That's going to need to be there, and you're going to need to check for this segment right here where they overlapped. That's the only part you're looking for, is the overlap. Okay, so again, graph the solution set, same business, so let's solve for y. So negative 4y, and that's going to be greater than or equal to a negative 5x plus 3. So divide through by negative 4. So if I divide through by negative 4, that means I got to flip because I divided by negative. So positive 5/4 x and a negative 3/4. Boy, they love these fractions. Okay, move that over. 5y is less than negative 4x plus 3. Divide through by positive 5, which doesn't flip anything. Makes some nasty fractions, but other than that, not supposed to be painful. Okay, so when we go through and we graph, this guy is starting at a negative 0.75. So if that's 1, 3/4 of the way there. And then we're going up 5/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a solid line. And according to this, we are now negative, or excuse me, less than, because it's below. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's do this guy. We'll do him red. Okay, now 3/5, again, that's 0.6. So if this is 1, we're doing a little over halfway. And then we go, that's a negative 4, 5. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just stepping about the same amount, if y'all wonder what I'm doing. You just start in the right spot and then try to keep your steps the same. So that's negative 4. Did I do that right? Start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, yeah, I did. I went too many. And then, excuse me, go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that line is dotted. Okay, and then this one says less than, so we're going underneath. So again, when it comes test time, you're looking for a solid line here, you're looking for dotted line there, and you want this segment right here to be shaded, because they're not going to show you the parts that are just shaded once. Okay, solve the inequality and write the answer in numerical notation. Now, technically, we actually covered this earlier in the year. It didn't come at the end. I don't know why they put it here. But remember, we did sign analysis. So 12x squared plus 7x, and then that's going to be plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So we need to factor that two numbers that multiply to 12. That's going to be 3x, 4x. We're going to use 1s in the back, and that's the reason it works out beautifully for 7, because that gives us 4, that gives us 3, so we're good. Those are my two factors. So remember, for a sign analysis, we take our factors, we list them out, and then remember, this one goes to 0 at negative 1/3. This one goes to 0 at a negative 1/4. Now, which one's smaller? Because you do have to put them in numerical order. And I got a little low there. So if you think about which one's bigger, hopefully y'all played with enough measuring cups to know which one's larger. 1/3's larger, so that means that it's further down. Negative 1/4 is the smaller of the two, so he goes that way. So remember, wherever it goes out, that's the 0 to the left. If it's normal, you know, if the x isn't in the back end, following subtraction, it's always going to be left is positive. Oh crap, I did it backwards. My bad. Obviously, 70-something problems, my brain's burnt. Okay, negatives on this side, positives on that side. If it was turned around and did something like 5 minus x, it would be reversed. Okay, for this one, you put your 0 on negative 1/4. Left is negative, right is positive. And remember, we're just thinking about, okay, what is the product? 3x plus 1 times 4x plus 1. Well, if you do the product, negative times negative is a positive. 0 times anything is 0. Positive times negative is negative. Positive times 0 is 0. Positive times positive, positive. According to the problem, it said it wanted to do less than 0. That is negatives. So you go down there and you find all your little negatives. Negatives right here. We want to define this interval. Now, it would be wise to take this, write it down here. Take this, write it down here. What is that interval? It's just in between them. And it did have the line underneath, so we need those because it had the little line. So that means negative 1/3 to negative 1/4, which is not a very big interval at all. Okay, so solve this inequality, write it in interval notation. It's the same business. And that will be a plus 9 greater than 0. So 2x, 2x, 3, 3. This is funky because it's the same thing, right? So when you stack it up, write it twice. Just write it twice or you're going to have a boo-boo. The weird thing is you're going to have one bar because they're both going out at a negative 3/2. They're both there. So this one is 0 here, left is negative, right's positive. This one's 0 here, left's negative, right's positive. So that gives me negative times negative is plus, 0 times anything is 0, positive times positive is plus. According to this, it wants to know greater than 0, which is only positives. It does not have the line underneath it, so it does not want equal 0. So it's wanting a hole here, and it wants this, and it wants this. So what are those intervals? Negative infinity up to, oh, I forgot to put my little thingy up there. We're breaking at negative 3/2. We're starting over on the other side of negative 3/2, and we're going to infinity. And that is it. Hope you're ready for your exam by now.